So today I'm gonna fog the engine in my car. So I have this Lincoln LS. It's got this V8, 3.9 liter V8, and I don't drive it in the winter. So what I do is I just put some fogging oil in the intake, and then that helps keep any issues from happening inside the engine, if you get any surface rust or anything like that during storage during the winter. And I store it outside, so it's not like it's in a garage, and this is what I've been doing for quite a while. So we'll just go ahead and start that process. So here's what I use: the stable fogging oil, so you can get that at any auto parts store. And then the first thing I'm going to need to do is just go ahead and find where the air intake is, and it goes into the throttle body. So you can see it's right here. So I'm gonna disconnect this right there. It looks like just one hose clamp, and that'll give me enough room to get this straw inside here and spray some of the fogging oil in. So then the fogging oil will get sucked into the engine, and it'll go into the area where the cylinders are, and it'll keep the engine from getting any surface rust inside. So we'll start working on that. So I loosened up the hose clamp, and you can then just back off the ductwork here, and then now you'll have your opening so you can get your hose from your fogging oil right in there, and then start spraying that in. So the first thing you want to do is start the engine, and then once you start the engine, you want to hold it at about 2,500 RPMs while you're spraying the fogging oil inside. So with a V8, it might not stall out. With a V6 or maybe a 4-cylinder, it probably would. So that's what it's supposed to do. But once it stalls out, then you're good to go, and you have enough fogging oil in the engine to preserve it for the winter. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started, and then start spraying the fogging oil inside. All right, so I did have this off like I showed you before right here, but the car kept stalling out. So it doesn't run well without that connected at the front. So I'm going to see if I can go back to where the air cleaner is, and I'm just going to go ahead and either disconnect the hose here, or maybe I'll just open up the air cleaner and use that. So that way, when I spray the fogging oil in, it'll end up going through this duct and into the throttle body. So I'm just gonna make sure I stick the hose far enough down, because there are these two sensors here, and I don't want to get them all full of oil. So I'll try to avoid spraying too close to those. So it's simple to disconnect the air filter here. Just pull these tabs back. So I already pulled that one back, and then you just go ahead and lift up on it. So I did loosen this a little bit. I'm going to tighten it back down, because I don't think I'm going to disconnect it there. Alright, so that's back. This should give me enough room. Let me take this shroud off, because it seems to be in the way. Alright, so I didn't have to take off this shroud here. That wasn't in the way. I just needed to move it a little bit towards the front of the car to be able to slide the connection that's down there on the bottom out of the way. So now you can see inside here. So that is where we want to spray into, and you can see there's a sensor right there. So we just want to get past that, and we'll go ahead and start spraying the fogging oil in there when we start it up. So let's get to that. So something that I usually do now that the car is on, so I got to get it to about 2,000, 2,500 RPM. So my nice little piece of wood, because I'm by myself right now, which is up against the seat and on the gas pedal, and then I just move the seat forward until I get it to about 2,500, 2,000 RPM. So that way I'm holding it there. Now we come to where the engine is, and spray this for about 10 seconds into the intake, and then we'll be good. So go ahead and get my hand in there. Alright, so that was about 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and shut the car off. So now we should be good. That's it. So I'm going to also go ahead and spray my rotors. Since I leave this car outside, I'm going to put a protective film over my rotors so they don't get all rusted up. So I'll show you that too. So here I am at the back of the car. I'm at the passenger side rear wheel, and what I do is I spray down the rotors with this rust and corrosion protection. It's a fluid film. So you spray it on, and then it'll kind of gel up and almost form like a grease that'll protect your rotors during the winter from getting any corrosion and pits on it. The important thing is that when you're ready to take your car out in the spring is to make sure you use brake cleaner and get all that fluid film off of there, because it's just going to make it very difficult to stop with that on there if you don't go ahead and clean it off first with some brake cleaner. So brake cleaner just comes in a can. You spray it on. You gotta spray it liberally, but it'll definitely get it off, and you'll be good to go when the spring comes. So just gonna go ahead and shake it up, and then spray this. So you get it around the top, and then it should run down to the bottom to the spots that you can't get to, and then on the back side it's a little tougher, but just do your best to get it on the back side as well, and then do that on all 4 of the tires, and they should be protected for the winter. So there it is after I sprayed it. You can see it's kind of like a thick grease it turns into, and then that goes and stays on there all through the winter. It'll be like a dark, nasty looking black grease or something when you go to uncover it in about 6 months. But at least your rotors will be protected. But when you go ahead and spray it with the brake cleaner, that stuff should come right off, clean them up, and you'll be good to go. You could go to the extreme, take the tire off, try to get both sides of the rotor as best you can. I can't really reach the other side of the rotor. Even if I spray it in there, I can't see if it's running down the backside. So so I did the best I could here to keep them from getting all rusted and pitted throughout the next 5 to 6 months. So that's it. That's fogging the engine and then prepping the rotors for the winter. I'll go ahead and put the cover on, and then we'll be done. Almost forgot one thing. So I do have a battery disconnect to this car. So got one of these little things, I think at Harbor Freight or something, for a couple bucks. God, it was super cheap. So I just go ahead and disconnect this. I do leave the battery in the car all winter, which is fine. Never had a problem. That battery has been in there for a long time. They